Right now, Europe is shaking. Hungary just flipped the table, with Szijjártó declaring Budapest will keep buying Russian oil, spitting in the face of Trump and Washington. But Brussels isn't sitting quietly. EU leaders are preparing a brutal counter-strike, with cash deals on the table to strip Orbán of his veto power once and for all. The clock is ticking. Either Trump convinces Orbán to ditch Russian energy, or the EU will crush his leverage. And as this political war explodes, chaos hits northern Europe. Mystery drones shut down Copenhagen Airport, grounding flights, delivering dozens of planes, and raising the chilling question: is Moscow tasting NATO's defense right now? Welcome to Ukraine Today. I'm Zorislava Kolesnikova, and in this episode we break down Orbán's gamble, Trump's challenge, and Europe's growing storm. Hungary defends Trump. Szijjártó says Budapest will keep buying Russian oil despite US demands. A shutdown is brewing between Washington and Budapest. Hungarian Foreign Minister Szijjártó has declared that Hungary will not give up Russian oil even as US President Donald Trump demands NATO and EU countries cut all imports from Moscow. Speaking to The Guardian on the sidelines of 18th UN General Assembly in New York, Szijjártó made his country's position crystal clear.
We cannot guarantee the safe supply of energy for our country without Russian sources of oil or gas.
Trump recently proposed alias to halt Russian energy imports altogether, while European Council President Antonio Costa said the EU had already reduced purchase by 80%. But the large share of the remaining 20% come from Hungary. Szijjártó admitted he understands Trump's push, but added bluntly:
For us, energy supply is purely a physical issue. It may be nice to dream about buying oil and gas somewhere else, but we can only buy where we have infrastructure. And if you look at the physical infrastructure, it is obvious. Without Russian supplies, safe supply for the country is impossible.
Hungary, along with Slovakia, still receives 200,000 to 250,000 barrels of Russian oil per day through the Druzhba pipeline, about 3% of total EU demand. Meanwhile, the European Commission confirmed on September 22 the upcoming 19th package of EU sanctions against Russia will not include a ban of pipeline oil delivers via Druzhba. Hungary is breaking ranks while Europe tries to strangle Russia war machine. Budapest is keeping Moscow off lifeline alive and openly challenging US pressure. The question now: will Trump let Hungary defy him, or will Budapest gamble spark a bigger clash inside NATO? Brussels hit back. EU ready to strip Orbán of his veto power with cash deals. The European Union is running out of patience with Viktor Orbán's endless veto games. For months, Hungary have been blocking key EU decisions on Ukraine, threatening sanctions, freezing in billions in aid, and using what experts call a tactical veto to blackmail the rest of Europe. Now Brussels is preparing a counter-strike. According to officials, the European Commission is set to unlock around 550 million euros in frozen EU funds for Hungary, hoping to break Orbán's latest veto on new sanctions against Russia. Nikolai von Ondarza of the German SVP think tank said:
Hungary is not blocking because of the substance. Orbán is using his veto to blackmail the EU on other issues.
Orbán, facing parliamentary elections next year, refuses to cut his country's reliance on cheap Russian energy and repeatedly delays sanctions on Moscow. Hungary and Slovakia are already threatening to veto the upcoming 19th sanctions package against Russia. Meanwhile, Hungary is still holding back 6.6 billion euro in EU military aid for Ukraine, blocked from the European Peace Facility.
It may be morally questionable, but it's legal. In foreign and security policy, every country has the veto. Orbán just uses it far more than anyone else.
A
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine today. Join us now.
Brussels may unfreeze cash to neutralize Orbán's veto this time, but the EU's patience is wearing thin, and leaders are quietly discussing whether Hungary's veto weapon should be taken away from good. Trump must convince Orbán to quiet Russian energy. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he is counting on US President Donald Trump to push Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán away from Moscow's oil and gas. Speaking to reporters after his latest meetings, Zelenskyy backed Trump's sought stance. Europe must cut ties with Russian energy once and for all.
We had a long conversation with the Slovak Prime Minister. I understand the logistics problems of delivering energy to European countries. They are trying to find cheaper ways, but in the end, they will pay 10 times more. They will pay with their independence. That's what happened to Ukraine in the past.
He reminded foreign media that Russia once offered Ukraine's cheap gas, but always demanded political control in return.
I understand Slovakia. They are ready to look for alternatives, and that's good news. The bad news is that Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán is not ready yet. But I think all of Hungary should not pay for the mistake of one man.
The Ukrainian leader added that Trump knows Orbán personally and could persuade him.
I hope the US president will try to solve this issue. He knows Orbán, and I think European leaders will also talk to him.
Trump, for his part, has repeatedly stressed that Europe must stop buying Russian energy.
It's financing the war against themselves.
Trump declared promising that he would raise the issue directly with Orbán, but so far Budapest insists it will not give up Russian oil and gas despite the pressure from Washington and Kyiv. Europe's energy security, Ukraine's survival and Russia's war chest all hang on whether Orbán listens or keeps fueling Putin's machine. At the same time, mystery drones shut down Copenhagen Airport, flights diverted, chaos in Northern Europe. On September 22, unknown drones forced Denmark and Norway into high alert. In Copenhagen, the country's biggest airport was shut down after drones entered its airspace. More than 35 flights were delivered, all departures and landings suspended as security forces scrambled to respond. Who is behind this, and was it a test of NATO's defenses? Full story in report.
Unknown drones attacked Denmark and Norway on the evening of Monday, September 22nd. As a result, an alert was declared. At Denmark's largest airport in Copenhagen, all arrivals and departures were halted after drones were spotted in the airspace. More than 35 flights were redirected to other airports.
We are observing an increasing number of concerning incidents, specifically acts of unauthorized intrusion into the sovereign airspace of the member states comprising the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, commonly known as NATO, which is a crucial defensive alliance. And this concerning development is actively unfolding in various nations, encompassing not only those countries that share a direct geographical border or are in close proximity to the Russian Federation, but also, quite significantly, it now extends its reach and concerns those sovereign states that are situated at a much greater distance from Russia, impacting a broader international scope.
None of the 4 drones that flew over the airport were shot down. The Copenhagen police stated that the UAVs disappeared. Denmark and Norway will conduct a joint investigation into both cases of mysterious incursions.
The drone incursion that we have witnessed these past few days was certainly not the very first one. There have already been previous violations of Polish airspace by both missiles and Shaheds. These incursions are not entirely unprecedented. It's just that there hasn't been such a truly massive, a truly overwhelming and extensive attack essentially on this scale before. In my considered opinion, this was indeed a deliberate attack, a very serious and significant act of aggression. It was, well, quite clearly aimed at probing the effectiveness of their tactics and the resolve of the Polish defenses. But I strongly believe that Russia possesses the capability to attempt and potentially execute the very same kind of aggressive actions in other neighboring countries as well, posing a broader regional threat.
In the Norwegian capital of Oslo, an alert was also declared over the military zone of Akershus fortress due to drones. The drones were detected by the military. In connection with the incident, 2 people from Singapore were detained.
It would be very important here, of course, for the United States of America to act more decisively, but unfortunately, so far, aside from some statements, we have not seen how ready the US is to, let's say, deal with the challenges that currently exist.
Drones on European territory are now more of a common occurrence than news. Up until now, all unidentified drones have turned out to be of Russian origin. And it is quite possible that due to its impunity, Russia continues to test NATO's patience. Lithuanian Defense Minister Dovydė Šakalienė expressed the opinion that the countries of the North Atlantic Alliance could have responded more decisively and shot down the aggressor's UAV over Estonia. She also recalled the example of Turkey, whose airspace was also violated by Russia 10 years ago.
It seems to me that what we are truly seeing here is a significant lack of political will. For now, at this particular stage, perhaps the nation of Estonia is genuinely afraid that Russia might somehow retaliate, but it will undoubtedly respond in a different, more asymmetric way, which could be quite impactful. Most likely, it could step up its subversive activities in Estonia. And considering the significant geographical reality that Estonia shares a direct and extensive border with the vast Russian Federation, and furthermore, taking into account the substantial presence of a considerable number of ethnic Russians residing within Estonia's national boundaries, this particular demographic and geopolitical situation could very easily become a profoundly destabilizing factor for the region.
Aircraft that violate the airspace of NATO countries should be shot down. This was stated by the President of the Czech Republic, Petr Pavel. According to him, only such an adequate response will make Russia realize that it has crossed the line and made a mistake.
That's all for today on Ukraine Today. If you believe Europe must stay strong and Russia's game must be exposed, like, comment and subscribe. Want to stand with us? Become a sponsor and help us reveal the truth, fight propaganda and keep Ukrainians' voice alive on the world stage. Stay strong, stay informed and stay with Ukraine.